Okay, this video is going to focus on printing from your Android-powered phone. Now, currently, Google Cloud Print is in beta, so at the time of filming this video, you can only print from your mobile browser on your Android phone, or actually your iOS device as well. It's Android 2.1 or greater, and you can only print from your mobile browser, Google Docs, or Gmail. I haven't been able to find any command to print on the Gmail app on the phone. So basically right here what I have an email that I pulled up through Gmail on my mobile browser. Now if you want to know how to set up Google Cloud Print, I made a video on it previous to this, my previous video, and it shows you how to set up Google Cloud Print, which is pretty easy, and I actually printed on it using the Google Chrome OS notebook. But in this video, we're going to focus on mobile printing. So I have an email pulled up here through my mobile browser on my Nexus 1 phone, which has Android 2.2 Froyo on it, actually 2.2.2 at this point. And over here on the upper right-hand corner, there's a drop-down menu here. So I'm going to click on that, and it has reply, move, label, mute, report spam, and print. So we're going to want to click on print here, and it goes straight to Google Cloud Print, and it brings up all of my printers here. Now if you looked at my last video, I have a Kodak printer, and it's listed twice on here, the last two here, and the reason for that, let me actually bring it a little closer. The reason for that is because one of them, the bottom one, is the wireless version, and the above one is the wired version. So right now I have the wireless turned off on the printer, and I have it hooked up through my laptop, wired through. That's not my normal setup, but if you look at my previous video, I had some troubles with Google Cloud Print. So hopefully I don't have the same troubles using my mobile browser here. So I'm going to click on the first of the two Kodak printers here. And then down below here you see a print button, so I'm going to click on that. And it says creating a new print job added. Now behind the phone here is my printer, and on top of that is my laptop. Now if you watched my previous video, you'll notice that there is a little problem with Google Cloud Print right now, at least with my setup. I've tried it with Windows 7 32-bit, I've tried it with Windows 7 64-bit. I've also tried it with Windows Vista 32-bit. And if you're not familiar, you have to have a Windows computer, whether it's XP, Vista, or Windows 7, hooked up to your printer, whether wirelessly or wired. Now when I was doing this with my Chrome notebook and sending a print job through, it took upwards from an hour to actually print it. Now that doesn't mean that it was actually taking an hour to print it. It took an hour in the queue, and then it finally spit it out. It wasn't actually an hour, it was upwards from an hour. I actually don't know the exact time because I just let it go as I went to sleep last night when I filmed the majority of that video. So that would work in a scenario where you're away from home, you come across something, you want to print it, and you just send it to your Google Cloud Print, and it should be there when you get back home, unless you were a couple minutes away from your house. It's not so convenient. It's a little cumbersome at this point if you're going to be using it and you want something immediately printed. You're better off just printing from that Windows computer that you have hooked up to the printer. But you have to remember that this is a beta, so it's just released. It's not ready for prime time quite yet. And like I said, if you're away from your house and you want something waiting for you when you get back, it would probably work just fine. As of right now, this entire time I've been talking, it hasn't been printing. And there's really nothing you can do to start a print job from the queue. You can look on the mobile browser, you can bring up a screen where it shows you how many print jobs are waiting, but there's no way to actually initiate those print jobs. It just kind of does it on its own. And the only way that I've found that you can actually initiate the print jobs on command is to reboot the Windows computer that's attached to the printer, which is a little bit cumbersome, and it makes it pretty much defeating the purpose of printing from a cell phone or your Chrome OS notebook. It's kind of cool to do it now because I've never done it before. This would be my first printing off of a cell phone, but you know, it's a little, like I said, it's a little cumbersome in that right now it's just not ready. So hopefully by the time of the launch of the Chrome OS notebooks, it's a little more baked than it is right now. But really there's nothing I can do to speed it through the queue other than rebooting the machine, which I'll probably do in a second if nothing pops out of here. Okay, so what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to reboot my laptop that I have hooked in to my Kodak printer, and then you'll see that once it's back up, it's going to spit out what I had printed through my phone. So I'm going to do that right now. Alright, it's booting up. If history can teach me anything on this, it should spit out a printout in just about a second. Here we go, printing. So here we go. If you can read that, this is my first ever printing off of my Android-powered phone using Google Cloud Print, sent from Yahoo Mail on Android. So that's printing from an Android phone. What I've learned is that if you want to wait around for the queue to spit it out, which can take upwards from an hour, then you can just use the Google Cloud Print, and whenever it's printed, it's printed. Or if you want the printout right now, you have to reboot your computer. So that's the limitations of Google Cloud Print at the time of filming this. I'm sure it'll just get better from here. But it is kind of cool to be able to print off of a phone and my Google Chrome OS notebook. So that pretty much does it for this video. I'll see you next time.